Three, two, one. Rolling sound. All right, give me a good clap. Perfect. Who are you?
Well, my name is Jasmine Hall. Some people know me by J Lovely. I'll start with what I do and then who I am. I am an intuitive mindset and marketing coach. Also venture into insurance sales and all kind of good stuff like that, education, all of that. I am a motivator. I'm here, I feel like, to change the world, to save the world. I've always felt like since I was a child that I was put here to pretty much elevate the world. I didn't know how at that time, but I just knew that I had something inside of me that would allow others to be themselves around me, to feel comfortable being themselves, and to open themselves up and be vulnerable around me. And I had a propensity to give people advice as at an early age. I don't know, even old people when I was like 10 years old would just come up to me and just tell me their business. Oh, but I know that that was just a part of the gift, and I just feel like I'm put here to heal the world and help the world, and to pretty much just do God's work.
What was your childhood like? What were some important lessons you learned then that you carry with you today?
Who? So my childhood was, it's hard to explain because it wasn't bad. It wasn't a regular childhood either at the same time. I grew up. I could remember as early as like 4 or 5. I grew up in a household full of a lot of relatives. It was like 9 or 10 of us at one point in time. So I could remember when I was young, I experienced a lot of love. I was the youngest in the house, so I experienced a lot of attention and a lot of love. And then I can remember that, changing and people leaving or, just going on and doing their own thing. And then, my mom, she had her own struggles where I was not always being taken care of by her. My father, he was kind of not there either. So I experienced abandonment very early. So I pretty much had to learn how to be a loner and to not necessarily take care of myself because I did have my grandmother, I had my auntie, I had, my grandfather until he passed. I had a lot of people around me to take care of me. But those two people, your parents, they're very important to you. So not having them just made me feel like something was wrong with me. So I knew early when I was young that I had little issues. Now that I'm older, I can tell that there were some kind of mental illness going on inside of me where I was kind of depressed. It's not normal for a child to be depressed, but I did go through like depression and anxiety, social anxiety, like for a good minute. You guys see all my family, they're just like kind of like surprised by how I am now because for a while I did not talk. Like I would not hardly want to say anything to a soul, hardly say hey to anybody. Like my family, like, girl, come downstairs and say hey to your family. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to these people. I just know disrespect to them. I just don't want to talk to them. But I just remember, you know, I did I was raised on love, but because I experienced a lot of loss very early, I lost my grandfather who was like my best friend and my biggest father figure. I lost him at 11 and that kind of changed the trajectory big time of who I was and how I experienced and looked at life. So I was just a little child that experienced love but also experienced, bouts of feeling abandoned, not feeling good enough, and then also, dealing with other things. Not no one in my family touched me, but also having to experience being touched inappropriately, molestation at an early age too. So I just had to really learn to become a shell of a person because as a protection method. But that is not something that I do anymore. I'm more of an open and vulnerable person. But I do know that as a child I was much more reserved and to myself.
How does a flower grow?
A flower grows by being very, very deep. Being very deep in the soil and the darkness and getting watered, getting nutrients, getting watered, and then receiving that sunlight and then just breaking through that darkness and coming up and blooming.
All right. I'll ask you to give me a random number between 1 and 100.
Let's do 85.
If you could have the option of eradicating pain from your life, would you choose to do so? Why or why not?
That's a good question. Eradicating pain. Honestly, probably not. And I know a lot of people probably like, what? I don't, pain to me, now that I'm older, when I was younger, and of course, some days, of course, I'll probably like, oh, I wish I didn't feel this way, but it's a purpose behind it. Your pain becomes your purpose, and I feel like me experiencing pain very early is why I can go out here and start to change the world because I started changing the world by changing myself, and that change came through pain. And with me experiencing that pain, I'm able to really be more grateful. Like the smallest things will make me happy. And I think it's because of the pain that I experienced that makes me more of a grateful and gracious person.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
Let's do 77.
If you could be anywhere other than where you are right now, where would you be and what would you be looking at?
Ooh, I would probably be off the grid. I have this dream, which it'll probably never come true because, well, let me not say never, but I do have this dream of really just going completely off grid, like no social media, not living in the house, maybe like living on an RV and traveling and just going coast to coast and then traveling abroad. Like I want to see the world and experience the world and talk to people and educate the masses and really just experience life outside of the bubble of Atlanta.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
3.
Are you doing what you believe in, or are you settling for what you are doing? What would you rather be doing, or why do you believe so deeply in what you're currently doing?
I'm literally living my life's purpose, so I'm definitely doing what it is that I believe in. I'm doing what I feel like I was called to do. um I feel really, when it comes to a calling, it's not even about whether how deeply you feel about it. It's like God just put it on you when you came here. So for me, it was just like I ran from it, and I even met people. It's so funny, quick story. It was a lady that I met maybe 10 years ago, and I was in sales, which I'm always in sales. I've been in sales, but I was in sales and I was talking to her, very beautiful, elderly black lady. And she told me, like, I guess she had a gift of sight too. And she was just like, stop running from your purpose. Now, I'm like 22 at that time, 23. I'm like, I don't even know what my purpose is, but she's like, just stop running from yourself, stop running from your purpose, and just embrace whatever it is that you're here to do. And now that I'm older and I realize what she said, it still sticks with me to this day. And I was running from my purpose. I knew that I was put here to do very big things. I just didn't know what it was at that time. And it came through life's experiences that led me to be that person that's like, okay, I know that I can go out here and invoke change and inspire people to become the best versions of themselves. And honestly, I feel like I'm very tied to that because I enjoy it. I just love when people tell me, you know what, that advice you gave me, it really changed my perspective, or I really need to hear whatever it is that you told me. Or now, like even one of my clients, she tells me, I hear your voice in my head. It's almost like a form of conscious, like your voice is a part of my conscious now. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing to me that I'm able to just be myself and tell people the things that I wish other people would have told me when I was coming up, and that change actually does something for them.
Please give me one number between 1 and 100.
97.
What is the most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
Most adventurous thing. Oh wow, that's a big question. I guess traveling alone. And nobody wanted me to do that. Travel. It's a lot of things that I've done that a lot of people are probably like, "Wow, you did that." But traveling alone, I'm just not really afraid to do a lot of things too. Like I'll invest money. Like I'll throw money at something really fast and like big. amounts of money that will I feel like will yield a good result. And I feel like that also is something, even though it's not like adventurous, but that's something that a lot of people are afraid to do. Like I do a lot of things that I feel like a lot of people would have reservations. Like I'm a big risk taker. But traveling alone, I think would be probably the biggest thing because I had so many people in my ear like, really, you about to go across the country by yourself? Nobody's going with you? You're not meeting anybody there? You're not? No. I just went ahead and went. And I went to, oh yeah, I went to Colorado and I went ahead and went and people were just like, by yourself, like my family rather, I should say. And I'm just like, what's the big deal? Yeah. So I would think that would be the most recent adventurous thing that I've done.
All right, I'll ask you to give me one final number between 1 and 100.
15.
What is the difference between being alive and truly living?
Hmm.
Which is your current experience?
I think I'm transitioning out of being alive, and really starting to experience life, like feeling like I'm truly living and doing what it is that I want to do. I think the difference is, well, if you're here, you're alive anyway. You know, a lot of people I feel like are on autopilot, just doing what the world is telling them to do, being who the world is telling them to be, not really understanding who they are in the depths of their soul, just understanding who they are and why they're here. And I feel like once you finally tap into your purpose, once you get into the spirituality of who you are, knowing that this body is just something you're borrowing, but it's something very deep inside of you and your soul that has led you to the planet, that the reason you are here. Because if you're not here, trust me that somebody's going to miss you. But once we tap into our purpose, then we can understand how profound our presence is to the world. And once you tap into truly living, that is what happens. You know, you start to understand how big of a deal you really are to other people, to how you can help the planet, to how you can help yourself, to how you help, your family. And then also just starting to experience life the way that you want it to be experienced, the way that you want it to be seen, not going on autopilot and just working all day, doing something that you don't want to do, that somebody told you to do, just trying to make money. Because a lot of people are just, just alive and they're only living to work. But our work is deeper than what we do professionally. Our work has to do with helping other people. How do we help other people? How do we transcend our life, but also the lives of others?
How do you find meaning in your daily experience? What propels you through life?
I like to start my day. I have a saying where I start the day with gratitude, so you don't have an attitude. So I start my day being thankful. You know, no matter what it is, no matter what problems I go through, because I do go through a lot of problems. But I start my day still just focusing on what is here, what I'm grateful for, what I worked hard to achieve, and what moves me forward is, like I said, since I know what my purpose is, I know that what the bigger picture is. So every day I want to do something to contribute to that bigger picture, no matter how small it is, no matter if it's just talking to one person or if it's just doing one task, within my business for an hour, being creative, whatever the case may be. I am always wanting to contribute to the big picture of what I view to be my life. And my driving force is literally my creator, my spirituality. I'm really grateful for the relationship that I have with God and also the relationship I have with my friends, my family. Like, I feel like even though there have been times where I have been suicidal, something that holds me is the fact that things can change in a moment. And I always know that, like, any moment, whatever it is that I want can actually happen. And because I believe that, it typically always happens that way for me.
What has the experience of living been like for you to this point? What can people learn from your life?
Oh boy, living has been something else. I tell you, like I said, previous last question, like I have had times where I didn't want to be exist anymore. I've had times where I really was just like, everything would be better if I'm not here. But I know that that is not a fact. I know that that's not true. So for me, living is about, just taking whatever it is, that it could be small, it could be big, but there is joy. in everything. It's some way that you can find joy. And even if it's something that just happened one time in your life, if you just hold on to that event, then I do believe in the ability to attract more joy, more joyous situations. So for me, life has been joyous, life has been amazing, but life has also beat me to the ground. And I feel like it's all supposed to happen like that for a bigger purpose, for us to learn first of all who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, and how to help others through the same thing that we have experienced or are currently experiencing. Because like I said earlier, because through our pain comes our purpose. So for me, life is, just full of ups and downs, but I tend to sway on the glass half full side. So I really enjoy my life. I love my life. I'm in a place where I kind of never thought I would be. Even though I'm still like, okay, there's some stuff going on and I'm like, okay, I want it to be fixed right now. But I know that I have the ability to fix it because I've been in worse situations. So I always hold on to the fact that I have joyous occasions that have happened to me, even when I'm feeling the lowest. I think about those joyous occasions and how they can come back again at any moment.
So, this is the final question and the purpose of our meeting today. Life is fleeting. We never know when it's our time. If these were your last words ever recorded, what would you say about your life and legacy?
Um, I would say, excuse me. I'm just grateful that I never gave up on myself. Um, I had a feeling I was gonna get a little emotional here, but I'm grateful that I never gave up on myself. I never let things that could have hindered me stop whatever driving force that I had inside of me. I feel like what I contribute to the world now and later on, because I still have so much more work to do, and I'm grateful to be able to do it, is just that motivation to keep going, to not let fear hold you back. Because fear, first of all, is not even real. It's something that we just create in our minds to stop ourselves from being our best versions of ourselves. But once we tap into understanding that fear is just an illusion, is something that we created, you can also understand that that feeling is always going to be there and just push forward no matter what, regardless. Just do the thing. Whatever the thing is, just do it. Feel the fear and just do it anyway. It doesn't matter.
So, I'll ask you for one last time. Who are you?
I am Jasmine, aka J Lovely, an educator, a motivator, a lover, a friend, someone who really loves very hard. I love everybody. I don't have any hate in my heart for anything or anybody, any situation. I'm a accepting person, and I really just want for everybody to tap into that best version of themselves and become the happiest they could be.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
It's been lovely. And that's a wrap.
All right.